I am very well aware of that.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Senator.
In America, unlike other countries, where they let you die in a ditch, in America, if you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. Isn't that right?
It is.
And and one of the programs we do that through is Medicaid.
Correct.
Okay. And this money for Medicaid, it didn't just fall from heaven. We thank heaven for it, but it came out of people's pockets, didn't it?
Every dime of it.
And some of that money is stolen, isn't it?
Yes.
And the states, not all of them, but many of them, allow it to be stolen, don't they?
Yes.
Let's take Medicaid in California, for example. I don't mean to just pick on California, but because this happens in other states. We saw it happen in Minnesota, for example. But in California, for every dollar that the California state government puts up for Medicaid, for the Obamacare portion of Medicaid, the federal taxpayer puts up $9, don't they? And so, is that right?
That's correct, Senator.
And so, as a result, California has allowed thousands and thousands of these social assistance and so-called health care providers pop up in California, haven't they?
Yes.
And some of those providers steal the money, don't they?
Yes, we know that to be true. Yes.
And the money never gets to the people they supposedly are trying to help. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And the other way that California and others abuse the fact that they're putting up $1 and the American taxpayers putting up $9. Did I mention it was $9?
I think some say it's even more, but yes,
yeah.
9 work.
They expand the services, don't they?
Yes.
Because some states, like California, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush. It's not everybody in California state government, but it's a lot of them. They see this as free money, don't they?
They're not paying for it, yes.
Isn't it a fact that, for example, Medicaid in California will pay a provider to provide tribal prayers? I looked all this up.
I mean, I'll accept that. I didn't know that, but yes.
That California will actually pay a health care provider, I didn't know this was a medical expertise, to pay for exorcisms. Is that right?
I'll accept that, Senator, but that's...
They pay, the California Medicaid program will pay for herbal medicines, meal deliveries. They'll pay for housing. I don't know what housing has to do with health care. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you aware that the Medicaid program using federal money, taxpayer money, will pay for an in-home chef?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's a family member, yes.
Yeah, they'll even pay for gymnasium fees through Medicaid in California. They'll pay for bicycles, scooters, gym memberships. Did you know that?
Yes, several states do, but California does for sure.
They'll even repay your student loans. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of the student loans repayment.
Yeah, they'll repay somebody's student loans to encourage them to become a health care provider. I mean, California, they're just setting all kind of records. These folks are they're wild people. California's got 12% of the population. In the last 10 years, they're responsible for half of these new so-called health providers to provide exorcisms and other things. Now, what the hell are we doing about it? Why has this gone on for so long?
Senator, listen, it's a great question. And what you just described are programs that are allowed under the program. You have a whole other issue in California where a lot of these folks are just stealing the money, not even running it through for exorcism.
They're thieves, aren't they?
They're thieves, correct.
And California just watches it happen, don't they? Not everybody in California. The government does, though, doesn't it?
Well, that's the challenge in a lot of states, is that we don't have a state government, which you all have entrusted to run these programs and take care of the money that you all give them. There's state structures that absolutely do not do any compliance, and they don't do their job.
Because they don't have no incentive to. They're getting free money. Isn't that right?
Yes, I think so, yes.
We got to change this, General.
We're trying.
I call this a slush fund. You want to talk about slush fund? This is a tier 1 slush fund that's been going on for years and years and years. Billions, and hundreds of billions of dollars is stolen.
Yes, Senator. And that's why, look, this department stood up a whole new fraud division, and AUSAs around the country prosecute fraud every day. So it's not as if we didn't have the work out there, but it's so systematically taking money from the American taxpayer that we very much believe that it needs its own stand-up structure. And I think it's true for the reasons that you just said.
If you need an exorcism, you can go to California, can't you?
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Chairman Moran, Ranking Member Van Hollen. Thank you.
What you just heard is the part of the hearing Kennedy came to build. He did not open with an accusation. He opened with a principle. In America, if you are too poor to be sick, the government pays for your doctor. The witness agreed. Kennedy spent the next several minutes making sure that agreement was in the record before he said anything else. The number came second. For every dollar California puts up for its Medicaid expansion, the federal taxpayer puts up 9. Kennedy said it once, then he said it again. Did I mention it was 9? That repetition was not accidental. Kennedy was not reminding the witness. He was reminding the transcript. What he did next is the part most viewers missed. He did not move immediately to fraud. He moved to exorcisms, to tribal prayers, to herbal medicines, meal deliveries, housing assistance, in-home chefs, gym memberships, bicycles, scooters, and student loan repayment. He walked the witness through each one and asked whether California's Medicaid program paid for them. The witness confirmed each item, some with certainty, some with the phrase that will matter most when this exchange is read again later. I'll accept that, Senator. Read that phrase carefully. I'll accept that is not the same as yes. A witness who says yes has confirmed a fact. A witness who says, I'll accept, that is doing something different. He is declining to dispute a claim he cannot immediately verify while remaining in the room. That is a professional move. It is also a different kind of record than a direct confirmation. Kennedy treated both answers as identical. The transcript does not. Then Kennedy made the turn. After the exorcisms and the bicycles, he said, and some of those providers steal the money. The witness said yes. Kennedy said California just watches it happen. The witness did not say yes. He said the challenge in a lot of states is that the state government does not do compliance and does not do its job. That is a different sentence. Kennedy folded it into his framework anyway and kept moving. Two things can be true at the same time. Kennedy may be entirely correct that the 9-to-1 federal matching ratio creates a structural incentive problem that rewards states for expanding program scope rather than auditing it. He may also be correct that hundreds of billions of dollars have left federal accounts for Medicaid programs that no serious compliance structure has ever reviewed. Both of those are real concerns supported by documented Inspector General findings. Both of those are reasonable positions. What Kennedy was asking, however, was not about compliance infrastructure. It was about culpability. By the time he finished the list, exorcisms, bicycles, student loans, and outright theft had been placed inside the same rhetorical container. The witness confirmed items from both categories. The transcript does not separate them. That conflation is what this hearing leaves on the record. The most overlooked part of this exchange is what Kennedy did with the witness's own answer. When the general explained that the department had stood up a new fraud division and that prosecutors around the country were working these cases every day, Kennedy did not engage with it. He had already gotten what he came for. The witness had confirmed the number. The witness had confirmed the list. The witness had confirmed the word thieves. Kennedy's closing line was not a question. It was a summary delivered as punctuation. If you need an exorcism, you can go to California. The witness laughed. The record does not. The transcript now contains every item Kennedy named. It contains every confirmation the witness gave. It contains the moment the witness said, "I'll accept that," instead of "yes," and the moment Kennedy treated those two answers as the same thing. It contains the silence where the witness could have said the program items you are describing are legally authorized expenditures under current federal waiver authority, and the ones you are calling theft are a separate category requiring separate evidence, and chose not to draw that line. Those words travel with this hearing into every future debate over Medicaid block grants. They travel into the legislative language being drafted right now around federal matching rate reform. They travel into the political record of every senator who will be asked whether they support cutting Medicaid, because this exchange will be in that record too, and it will not come with a footnote explaining which items on Kennedy's list were authorized and which ones were crimes. So was Kennedy running real oversight, exposing a documented structural flaw in how federal matching dollars incentivize state behavior, or was he building a political case by placing legally permitted program expansions and outright criminal fraud inside the same list? Letting the witness confirm the whole thing and then calling it a slush fund? Was the general delivering a defensible institutional response?